Hello, this is Professor Ramanandan HS, Maharaja Institute of Technology, Mysore. We are continuing our discussions on the subject mechatronics with the subject code of 17ME 753. So today's content of today's presentation are ladder programming. Okay, our discussion goes on continuing from the previous discussion. So we have seen there the ladder diagram. I'll just try to recap things before entering into the lecture. So second thing is logic functions. How do we adopt logic gate to control the maybe a solenoid or a motor, or maybe opening or closing of the valves. So any pneumatic, based on any pneumatic cylinder or hydraulic cylinder. How do we control all those actuators with the help of PLC, especially adopting the logic gates. So next thing is latching and internal relays. We will see how they function with the help of an example. So ladder diagram. So we have seen in the previous session. So ladder diagram is nothing but it is a where we see a structure like representation of a ladder where the rungs which run between the ladders representing the input, output and the intermediate function carried out by a PLC. We represent the language with respect to the ladder diagram. So we will take few examples, because the PLC should think on its own and act without human intervention. Since the machines are more efficient than human beings, so we are using programmable logic controller. So it can be programmed, that is what we have seen in the previous class. So you can externally program it by using any solid state device or any software package. So as well as it uses logic, the name itself indicates. So it uses logic. So logic is nothing but what to do. So the human beings, how we think, when an instruction is given to us, if it is a new instruction, we don't have the capability of doing, or we have to use our creativity. Machines are used for already known set of work and known set of instructions. So but still the instructions what have been programmed to the solid state device or the software, that has to be traced from the memory, and it should be put into a task. So for example, a washing machine. So initially when you dump all the clothes to the drum, you close the door of the cabinet and then you switch on the start button there. So automatic washing machines or semi-automatic washing machines, we see soon after you click on the start button, we see the water entering into the drum of the clothes. So how does it get actuated there? So you have connected through the tap, the water inlet. There is something called as a solenoid valve. Solenoid valve which will help in the water entering into the brake drum. As a human being, I am not initiating the activity, but there is some logic controller which is initiating the flow of water. Similarly, after the washing cycle or rinsing cycle, each and every time water has to drain out. There is a pump. How does the pump get an instruction? Because we are all using the machines, we should know on what basis it is working. So it is working on microcontrollers or maybe the valves, solenoid valves what we use basically. So it is actually working with the pump there. Pump has to drain out the entire cabinet so that water is totally outside the cloth cabinet which is there. So the pump gets the instruction from where? From already a stored set of memory. So it is being programmed, but from the memory the instruction should go to the pump to switch on the pump. So who is initiating all these activities? So it is a microcontroller. So similarly in industries, as I have mentioned, in pharmaceutical industry, it may be in few automobiles or assembly lines, wherever we see the application of PLC. So instructions for the refrigerant to flow in case of your refrigerator. We use fridges at home. The refrigerant has to continuously flow. The flow should get cut off when there is the enough amount of temperature, say 0 degree within the refrigerator cabinet. So once the perishables start to breathe, okay, they emit temperature, okay, because of the metabolic activities, the energy being dissipated from maybe fruits, vegetables or milk products, whatever you have kept, okay, maybe kitchen items you have placed in the cabinet, they start breathing. So everything breathes, everything they give out energy. So that is converted into temperature within the cabinet because of those matter, okay. When the temperature rises above 0 degree, again the thermostat will give the, okay, trigger to the valve there, solenoid valve which is present inside the refrigerator for the flow of the refrigerant. So this is what we have studied right from your first year of engineering, okay. I am just reminding you so that you understand how a machine, okay, already stored program, okay, with the help of logic, there is some person who is initiating the activity, there is a, okay, usually a device which is initiating an activity. So initiating activity is nothing but through electrical energy. Electrical energy has to flow through, okay, a switch to motor, a switch to pump, a switch to compressor, okay. So who is switching it on, okay, in what way, because there is no human being. So there the decision making comes into picture, the logic comes into picture. We use Boolean algebra or truth table. So that is the core essence of today's discussion, okay, whether to, okay, allow the current to flow through or whether not to allow the current to flow through, okay. So all these decisions, okay, triggers the activity of maybe a flow of the, okay, air or liquid, maybe switching on of any actuator, okay, or maybe cutting off of the current to an actuator or cut off of the fluid. So all these is decided by the programmable logic control. So how it can be represented? So you can see here a various set of, okay, ladder programs and ladder symbols. So right from the first thing we will just try to understand. This is a symbol what we use for input, okay. The list of ladder symbols are here one by one. So ladder symbols, you can see this is nothing but input, okay, is open here. This is called as not closed, or it is an open input. It means to say it is switch on, okay. This, if I write this symbol, it is nothing but the switch is on, okay. So you can see here, this is the output symbol, okay. We will just try to understand generally and then we will apply it to the examples later. So output maybe I have already mentioned, it may be a solenoid, it may be a pump, it may be a motor, okay. It may be any valve, opening or closing of the valve. Basically these are all triggered by motor or pump or blower or compressor. So any, okay, prime mover is connected to the input, always, okay. Connected to the input is nothing but switching element. Input is switching element to allow the current, conventional current to flow through. Output is nothing but the actuator, okay. So we have, nominally we have mentioned here it is input 1 and output A. So finally if I write it like this ladder diagram, what it means, okay, it means input is open, okay, so that current is flowing through output. So output A occurs when input 1 occurs, that is the output here, okay. Whenever the input 1 is open, so when input 1 occurs, output A occurs, okay, both they exist, okay. You will get the, if the output A is motor, it will get turned on, okay. If the input is to turn off the motor, then we will go to next set of circuits. The input should be turned off, okay, negation symbol. What we usually show here, okay, inputs are usually closed here, okay. Input as contacts which are closed until, okay, input. You can, if you close this circuit somehow, okay, there is no output in the second, okay, set of ladder diagram. You can see here output occurs when input 1 and input 3 occurs. So if I change the, okay, circuit here, okay, if I change the diagram, so if I write it this way, okay, what happens is, okay, the input 2 is closed, okay, input 2 is closed and input 3 is also closed here, okay. So whenever the input 2 and 3 are closed, there is no output B. So whenever the input 2 and 3 are both are on, okay, it is something like your condition of AND gate. Both should be on. Okay, there should be input from to both the switches because they are in line. Okay, switches are in line. So then only there will be an output B. Okay. Similarly, you can see the third set of rung here. Okay. So this is a symbol output here. So output C is generated when input 4 or input 5 occurs, because you can see the line diagram here. So this is a parallel circuit. Okay, parallel circuit. If there is input 4, so something like your OR gate. Okay, OR gate. If there is input 4, you will get output C. Or if you have input 5, then also the switch circuit is closed. You will get output C. Okay, that is what we are trying to mean here. So output C occurs when input 4 and input 5 occurs. So something like your two-way switches. Okay, you can switch on the light from both the switches. Either you can switch it on at the staircase end, or you can switch it off at the ground floor. So two-way switching circuits are basically examples of this type of circuit. So last symbol is end. So if I give an instruction end, so series of activities are taking place, and finally it comes to a halt. Okay, again a task has to repeat from 1, 2, 3. So if the program demands the series of activities again and again, it gets continues. The cycle repeats. So this is how you represent things in with respect to ladder diagram. Okay, so you can go through the control of a solenoid as an example. You can see here. So this is one input here. So input. Input, it is something like your address. So if I want to reach your home, I should know the particular location. So location, we speak in terms of mechatronics as address. We already seen what is an address. It is a memory of a location memory. So because machine remembers at what place is the particular item with respect to a number. That coded number is called as memory. So think that the name of the input is X400. If input is a switch, because there will be so many switches, so many set of activities being carried out, it should address particularly what is the activity which should be triggered. So it will name each and every element. It is addressed by a particular number or label. So that is called as location or address. So X400 is the address of input. For example, Y430 is a solenoid. You can see here we have taken a solenoid as an example. So you are all aware of a solenoid. It is nothing but a coil. Coil wounded around the armature. We basically use it in extensively in the application of the hydraulic circuits, and in case of robotics as well as pharmaceutical industries everywhere, and maybe in filling of the liquids in beverages, Coca-Cola or Pepsi, or maybe even the milk products. To fill appropriately the amount of liquid, we use a solenoid. So it is a very good administrator or a controller for liquid propagation. So we see that solenoid is nothing but it is an armature, the basically electromagnetic material, which is being mounted on a spring. So that is being winded with a copper wire usually, a coil winded with so many number of turns. Larger the number of turns, more is the electromagnetism. So if that is being provided with a current, AC current, so current passing through the coil generates a magnetic field. So you are already aware of the rule, right hand, Fleming's right hand rule, where my fingers which are the indication of the magnetic field, magnetic field around the coil, and my the right thumb is the indication of the flow of current, the flow of current. Obviously, they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Magnetic field generated within the coil, whenever the current is passed through the coil, okay, it generates a magnetic field around the coil as well as around the armature also. So, that will usually induce a current in the eddy current, that is what we have already learned, electromagnetic induction in the armature. The armature will start to either push and pull movement is felt by the armature, because the electric field, magnetic field and the motion of the conductor are mutually perpendicular to each other. That is how even the earth is spinning, because of the electromagnetic radiation of the sun. We are all aware of. The sun gives us the electromagnetic radiation, so source of electromagnetic radiation. Because of that, the motion of the earth is continuously spinning around its axis because of the electromagnetic radiation of the sun. Similarly, that concept is used in electromagnetic induction. So, where there is electric field and the material is electromagnet, so obviously motion is induced in a direction perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field and electric field. So, the armature starts to move in and out. Okay, that solenoid is addressed as Y430 and the voltage used is around plus 24 volts of, okay. The current is passed through the solenoid valve, okay. So, controlled totally by the PLC. Circuit with respect to ladder diagram can be returned in the following way. So, this is a switching element, X400 is a switching element, okay. It is usually, okay, not closed or open position. Output is solenoid Y430. So, this is a, okay, solenoid. So, function of a solenoid is to open and close. So, basically that is only we are trying to mention here, switching and control of a solenoid. So, then next we have to write end. Okay, this is how you represent things in terms of ladder diagram. End in a rectangular box, if you write it, the instruction is totally looping, okay, between these two circuit diagram. Okay. So, next is how do you, okay, use different types of logic functions that is just represented generally with respect to ladder diagram here. So, you know that OR gate, if there is input from one of the, okay, input, then there is an output which is occurring at the output end. So, even one input is enough for the output to get generated. So, this is the use of OR gate, okay. So, AND gate you can see here. So, if this is input A, input B, so output if I write it as C, okay, if I write it as C. So, obviously C occurs when there is either A or B, okay. So, this is nothing but AND gate. AND gate, it functions in a way similar to the AND function. So, AND function is multiplication function, okay, multiplication function. So, usually the loop works in a similar fashion, either A or B, if there is a signal from both the, okay, switches. The you can see the functioning of the, you can see easily how it functions, okay. So, next is NOR gate. So, you can see here, okay, it is not OR gate, okay, both the input is turned off here, both the input is turned off. So, you want both the input to function, okay, then only there is an output here, both should give 1 and 1, okay. If there is input from 1 or 2, then only the output solenoid starts to work, okay. Next comes the NAND gate, okay, NAND gate. This is something opposite to AND gate, because in AND gate you can see the multiplication, okay, signal should come from both the, okay, input 1 and input 2, then only you can see. So, it is both is permitted here. If it is input 1, the output works, or if there is input 2, the current starts to flow from switch 2 and the output is generated. So, next is exclusive OR gate. You can see here exclusive OR gate is something like, okay, If there is no input from both the inputs, the output is not generated. Okay, it is something like this. There should be both input 1 and input 2. So if both the inputs are generating a signal, are giving a signal, and the switch is on, in both the cases. Otherwise, there is no output here. That is why it is exclusive OR gate, because OR gate functions with even a single signal. Even a single signal. Since it is exclusive OR gate, it functions with both the inputs. It cannot function with a single input. So next concept is about latching a circuit. So why it is necessary? Because you know that if I start a motor, if I say take an example, I gave you an example of water filling inside the drum. So it should keep on filling the water to the drum till the prescribed volume of the drum of the clothes. Or else what happens? If it is turned on once and momentarily stopped, the function is not accomplished. So the filling of water is not complete. So our duty is to latch a circuit. It cannot start and stop on its own. So it should, if it is started, it should last long for a while. It should last long for a while. So how do you achieve it? Because the motor should last long for a while till the task is accomplished. Then there should be a stop signal to the motor, because there is no manual intervention here. So if there is a human being, he can involve himself in looking into the volume of the water filled in the drum, and he can switch off the circuit. But that is not the case here. In automation, so many activities are being parallelly carried out and multiple number of times. Every time a human being cannot go and visit the workplace, to visit the chamber and see the flow of liquid, or filling of the volume of a liquid, or maybe cutting off of the refrigerant in case of a refrigerator. So a machine should understand the function, and it should consistently keep on working to a certain state of time, till a certain state of time. So how is it possible? By using a circuit called as a latch circuit. Latch circuit. You can see here, there is a stop signal being induced here. Stop is nothing but the input is being in a closed switch is being inserted in the circuit of the ladder diagram. So we have used here input 1, there is a stop switch here, so that signal is continuously passing through the output. Once the signal passes through the input 1, the motor keeps on running continuously, or the output is continuously generated. Till when? So till you can stop the circuit only when you give an input through the parallel circuit. Once you give the input through parallel circuit, the switch turns off and output is does not occur in the circuit. I repeat, there is a switch with a closed contact induced in the circuit diagram. So once the input 1, the signal flows through the input 1, there is a continuous uninterrupted output which is continuously occurring there. Till when? Till the signal from input 1 from the PLC, signal input 2 or input 3 is generated, then there will be, the switch will close and the output stops to occur. So you can take an example of relay control of a motor. Relay is nothing but a moving component. It functions with the electromechanical system. So whenever you pass the current, there is a mechanical motion and the switch is on. Whenever you stop the current, the electromagnets will go back to its original position, switching off the circuit. So electromagnetic relays we are aware of in the module 2. So we are using start switch, one more motor here, and then stop switch and motor control relay. So once the, okay, you use the start switch, motor relay control continuously functions, okay, uninterruptedly. Till when? Till the input is given through the one more circuit here. One more switch to control the motor. So when this signal passes through the circuit, parallel circuit, the switch turns off, so that, okay, for an example, water keeps on filling till the maximum volume of the drum. Once the water level reaches, there will be a proximity sensor which will send the information to the PLC, okay, related to the, okay, water level. So through the proximity sensor, the PLC receives an instruction, and through the transistor it switches on. Okay, it triggers the one more signal, so that, okay, through the relay, the transistor passes the current to the relay to switch off the motor, and the motor control relay turns off the motor automatically once the task is accomplished. I gave you an example of water filling into the drum. So this is the case everywhere, in case of maybe a refrigerant with the use of microcontroller or a PLC, okay, or maybe a filling of any type of fluid within a PLC. So this is how a programmed machine uses the logic and controls the circuit. So with this amount of knowledge related to programmable logic controller and usage of ladder diagram, okay, you can easily understand the concept of how a programmable logic controller works. Okay. So this is the end of the session. Thank you.